how did this actually impact, on real estate, right? Because we're all talking about real estate and property today. So how did it actually impacted real estate? I think that's what we are actually keen to know tonight. So even with that SARS period then, a blast from the past, that was like 17 years ago. 17 years ago, during then we don't have much statistics. We are unable to see, chartings and things like that. But today, we live in a very different era, right? We have a lot of historical data that we can actually pull out, and then we try, to predict. But of course, it's hard, but we always try to learn lessons from the past. So even during the SARS period, you can see, it actually lasted for like 2 quarters, which is like 6 over months. But it actually had very limited impact on property prices. Okay, really, just look at the charts. Although it lasted for 6 months, after that it lasts for like a year for impact. It brought down prices by approximately 2.3% on average in year 2003. So with such a health pandemic, with such a scare, okay, it only affected prices by 2.3%. Because I'm always curious, how does it affect property? So that's why when I look at it, I was like, wow, it is not that significant, although it's a decline. But after that, what happened, right? Many things happened. So this is how it impacted prices. But what about transactions? So again, during the same period, there was people were also wearing masks, going around, walking around in show flags, exactly the same. So during then, there was a dip in transactions. It dropped by like 40%. But after that, within 1 quarter, okay, basically transactions just recovered. So I always, tell my clients and even our agents that basically demand, can be delayed, but it cannot be destroyed. So I say again, demand can be delayed, but it cannot be destroyed. Just imagine during a circuit breaker, you tell your kids, no McDonald's, but end of the day, right, when you release them, they will definitely go there, right? So what we're saying is that it's a kind of similar, we do this a similar take, and this is what we call pent up demand. But as Singaporeans, we're also pretty much forgetful. We actually also been through this H1N1 virus, right? That's in 2009. And when I put out statistics, I was really surprised. I was really surprised because why? We had like more than 400,000 people affected by H1N1. Really honest, this is from the reports, okay? But of course, it's not that deadly. And that's why a lot of times we may just overlook it. So that was H1N1. But of course, today, okay, something important, COVID-19, we're still in the midst of it. We try. I think our government is doing a good job. Singaporeans are doing a good job to keep it under control. So I think with all this, I think Singaporeans have a lot of confidence in the property market. So now let's look at what is today, right? That was like, we talk about SARS was like 17 years ago, like history. But what is today? If you look at today, okay, it might be a bit small on your screen, pardon me, but look at today on the quarter 1 to quarter 2. We had this circuit breaker. After that, when things reopened in quarter 3, you can see that actually new homes, okay, probably doubled in terms of transactions, and resale near to triple, right? So you can see, what we call, there's still a lot of strong demand, regardless whether is it the new or the resale. So this is how Singaporeans are basically looking at it. So why is it so resilient? Because I think because of history, we learn lessons from the past. Okay, I think today, Singaporeans are getting more and more, affluent and getting more and more educated. So I think we are basically buying because we understand, how all this can affect the property market. You can also see, this was in the news of 1st of October. This year alone, okay, this 1 quarter after the circuit breaker opened, okay, actually property prices increased by approximately 1.2%. So it did not even dip. We also expect a dip maybe of 1 to 2%, but I think, on the contrary, it actually increased by 1.2%. Okay, so looking back, okay, in year 2018 and 2019, these 2 years alone, property prices based on the URA property price index adds up to be around 10.6%. So 2 years ago, the past 2 years increased by 10.6. And because of the pandemic this year, the whole year is it did a not bad performance of plus 0.1. But just for 2 quarters, okay, as mentioned, prices did actually increase by 1.1%. So I think this is very significant because why? I think during every generation, there are always opportunities, right? So whether is it a growth opportunity, whether is it a crisis, I think we all want to understand, how we can actually benefit from it. So also, we always take reference from our neighbors and also other countries. So when I look at China, so you can see China today, basically it has recovered. Okay, it has really recovered, and it has not only recovered, it has rebounded. Okay, you can see that it's on its high, on its 16-month high, and their prices, in August alone, increased by 11%. So we can actually take reference because our culture probably is very similar, to their culture as well. So you can see where and how confident people are doing it. And not only that, for those who are not aware, maybe just to highlight to you a little bit as well. Okay, of course, there are companies that has came out with vaccines. Of course, probably still in trial phases, but I think a 90% is as effective as it can be. So I think now we're just probably waiting for time to pan out, for them to distribute, for them to manufacture. So I think that we do see more positivity in the market because of the vaccines that's going to roll out soon all around the world. Okay, what is even more important, okay, is another thing called quantitative easing. Okay, so what is quantitative easing? So basically, if you look at US, okay, quantitative easing is basically a stimulus by the US government, to actually add into their country to spur the market. So it's basically adding money into the economy. You can see they actually launched a 700 billion package. Then, sometimes we look at Singapore and say, what has this got to do with us? Then I will say this has everything it got to do with us. Why? So what are the effects of this QE that can affect the real estate market? Again, okay, let's look a little bit in the past. In the year 2001, in the year 2008, there was this subprime crisis, right? That's what we call a financial crisis. And with that, the US actually pumped in trillions of dollars. You can see my highlights in green. They actually added in a QE1, QE2, and QE3. These add up to be probably like $3 over billion. And all this money, actually spurred real estate, okay, as high as 62%. So a lot of money being pumped into the market, so much that the government, our Singapore government has to come in with cooling measures. If not, I think our property price would probably hit the roof, right? So with all this money, it actually spurred on prices, and that's why our government has to step in to add cooling measures. So this time round, because of COVID, they introduced not just a $700 billion package, they also actually introduced a unlimited QE. So I think this is something that a lot of people probably, maybe have not paid a little bit of attention to. So that's why I just want to say, with this kind of unlimited money, coming into the system, and ladies and gentlemen, we are only in phase 2. Okay, what about phase 3, right? Today we're only in phase 2. What about phase 3? So where do you think prices will probably hit, regardless? Okay, because all this money is definitely, going to spur, our prices. And I think it's something that not every time we have this kind of opportunity. Okay, so this is something, for you to really look out for. Okay, so why is this probably the right time for us to even suggest? Because number one, I think, we are poised to position, for profit, with the effects of QE coming to the system. And second, I think we are on the road to recovery. So a very strong recovery because of all the. For my part, I just like to share a little bit more, is that you can see that we do have our ups and downs, definitely. But I think if you look at the long term, okay, the bulls usually outperforms the bear long term. Okay. And after every crisis, real estate will rebound even stronger. So these are things that I want to share. It's not just about timing the market, but is this even the right time of our life? Not just this year, next year. Is it the right time of our life, to ride and to really ride on this wave that this is what we think it will be up and coming? Okay, so I think this is the most important thing that I think it is for investors to understand, which is this the right time? Which I think, because of all this positivity, definitely, it was something for you to explore in the real estate market. And I think the next one I would like probably would like it to invite our director Joel Chu to share on one of the growth stories. Joel, next, up to you. Can I pass it to you, Joel? Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's look at what is our number 2 investment secret. Okay, we'd like to share with you more on what is actually the growth potential for key residences. So this is actually the plot of land for key residences. It's actually 385 meters long. It's very rarely seen in Singapore that you get such a long plot of land, that you get such a wide frontage. So the whole design of this development, you can see that is actually in a linear design. You know, they are not overlapping each other. So you are ensured that every unit actually gets a very good view of, you know, the development itself. Okay, so you can see that the star is actually where key residences is located. So for this whole Sunset Way estate, right, we have not have any new launches in the past 20 years. So the oldest one that a lot of people know is actually Clementi Park, and it's actually completed in 1985. So of course, the latest that has been launched there is actually Frisier Woods, and it was like almost 20 years ago when it was launched. So Key Residences is really one of the hottest and latest development that is going the newest building that's going to happen in this whole Sunset Way estate that a lot of residents there are actually looking forward to. So Key Residences have 660 units. We have 2 bedrooms all the way to 5 bedrooms. The land is actually 340,104 square feet. So just now, as I mentioned, it's actually in the Sunset Way estate, which is actually very sought after because, like I mentioned, 20 years there hasn't been any new condo that has been launched there. So Key Residences, actually, how did we actually derive the word, this name Key Residences? What is key actually? So actually key is a Japanese word that it actually means a spirit and energy. So this is actually a Japanese inspired concept, that actually focus on living well. So on the simplest level, key is the life force animating us and everything else in the natural world. So by taking inspiration from this, you can actually, expect to celebrate every aspect of life when you are living in key residences. So it's actually a 10 blocks of 12-story building development. And you can see the whole color theme is more of a light and dark gray tone with a timber light color that give you a very lasting kind of design because it's a 999 years land. So you need to have a very lasting kind of design and concept to last throughout 999 years. So our location is actually, we are surrounded by very important schools. So we are actually surrounded by the educational hubs. So what do we have? We have like Ngee Poly, Singapore University of Social Sciences, Singapore Institute of Management, NUS. You have like Hwa Chong Institution, Nanyang Girls High, National JC. So basically, we are really within short reach of all the important schools in Singapore. Okay, if you are someone who knows Sunset Way, Sunset Estate very well, you will know that currently, if you want to access this estate, there is only one entrance, which is from Clementi Road and then through to Sunset Way. So this whole Sunset Way road, if you want to drive in all the way to Key Residences, probably it will be like 1.4 kilometers long. So it's actually it's a lot of residents there will understand, that okay, this is the way, and is there a better way? Is there a better accessibility for us? So yes, okay, there is a new road that's going to build by our developer. It's called this Brookvale Drive. You see the yellow stretch, right? It's under construction. So this whole road will actually ease the accessibility of the residents staying in this estate. So Key Residences definitely will be the very first one that actually can benefit from this new road. So this whole stretch of road from our side gate to the Clementi Road, it actually is only 650 meters. So that is equivalent to what? Like 6-7 minutes walk to the main road. And of course, you do not only have one access now. In future, you actually can have two access into the Sunset Way estate. And good thing is that there will be actually a cross junction. Okay, cross junction will be built, along, I don't know, just right outside Clementi Road. So you do not have to worry that, oh, I actually cannot turn, I cannot actually turn right into this development if I'm coming from the Beauty World side, from the Upper Bukit Timah side. Or so you can actually turn right because actually there's a cross junction. And if let's say I want to drive out of Sunset Way, and will I also be able to turn right if let's say I want to go to Holland, towards Ulu Pandan Road? So yes, you are able to do it. You do not have to make a big U-turn, after Ngee Ann Poly. So this cross junction here will really ease the whole connectivity of the residents staying in the Sunset Estate. Okay, so what is actually right next to us? Right next to us is a 2-story bungalow zoning. Okay, so you will actually have your neighbors that is staying in this easily 10 million value, bungalows just right next to key residences. So we are actually located within an exclusive landed enclave. And that's why you actually can get super view, overlooking the bungalow, and you can look really far. So that is how the Sunset Way landed facing is like. Okay, so just like I mentioned that every unit has a view, right? Because our block doesn't overlap each other. So you have actually unblocked views overlooking the bungalows, which is the Sunset Way estate. So that is actually the south facing that we're looking at. This is the kind of view that you will be expecting. And what about the other side of the view? So the other side of the view, if you're facing the north, you actually have a lot of greens. You can expect a lot of greens, and you can even overlook, Bukit Timah Hill. So just now I mentioned, we talked about the existing one. The existing one is actually the landed enclave. But what about, the upcoming? Is there any upcoming? Is there any potential that's going to develop there? Is there any new development? So let's look at this master plan. Okay, so you can see the star is where key residences is located. And the 2 circle is actually the future development. So in the master plan, you see that the color, the orange, the peach orange color, so that is residential zoning. So the master plan has already indicated very clearly that it's actually meant for residential use. However, it's actually subject to detailed planning. Means that it's not going to happen so soon, but it's going to be residential in the future. So part of this development that we have looked at just now is actually the Holland Plain. So Holland Plain will be launched for redevelopment from 2021 onwards. After developing, probably this area will yield about 2,500 private units. And it's actually designed with generous park spaces, water-sensitive features in response to the surrounding green environment, and to be compatible with the nearby landed housing areas. Like new private residential developments will be low to mid-rise. So these are some perspective, that you can actually be expecting how this whole new Holland Plain will be developed into. So we are actually very close proximity to this Holland Plain. So this is a part of the kind of development that is around us that's going to happen. So why? I mean, why is it important to us? Why is it that it's important to us that we are the first one that is going to be developed there, and followed by what is going to happen? So let's look at some case study. Okay, this is actually a Holland Village transformation announced in 2014. So they actually announced that it's the first GRS site for the Holland Village extension in 2014 December. And actually, how does this announcement actually impact the selling prices of the nearby development? So the nearby development, we can see from this map, actually we have the Liden and we have Liden residences. So let's look at this. Okay, cooling measures in there's a whole set of cooling measures in 2013, right? So you can see that January to September, January 2013 to September 2018, you can compare there's actually a drop in pricing to 8.46%. So however, you can see that in September 2018 to August 2020, the PSF actually went up, okay, about 30%. And so this is actually after the announcement of the Holland Village integrated development. So is it just the Leyden itself? What about other developments that is nearby? So we have our Leyden residence, which is nearby. We have our Parvis, the Fort at Holland, and Leyden do as well. So we take these four as a comparison and let's look at their prices. So actually the Holland transformation has boosted all these development prices up to from 14%, 12, okay, all the way to 26%. So just now, so what about this? You can look at the master plan 2014. Okay, this is actually the Beauty World master plan area. So you can see in 2014, the master plan, the one that is circled, you can see is the red and is the purple zoning. So what happens? It actually changed. In 2019, the URA master plan changed to blue color. So blue color is actually residential and is actually with commercial sector as well. So, and you can see that the height, right? The height, actually the plot ratio has increased as well. So upcoming integrated transport hub with 865 condo units actually will be developed in this plot of land. So this is the future blueprint of Beauty World Integrated Transport Hub. So what's going to happen there? We have a Beauty World MRT there with a future Bukit Timah community building and a future integrated transport hub. So this is actually within short distance from us as well. So you can see that that is one very close development. So other you have your the Holland Plain, there is near to us, and you have this Beauty World transformation. And what about this Cross Island line that everybody is talking about? You know, our newest upcoming MRT line that everybody is speculating, like, oh, where will the station be? Would it actually be right next to the development that I'm going to buy? So, okay, let's look at the indicative timeline. Actually, by 2030, approximately length of 50 kilometers of this whole Cross Island line will be completed. And from the news, it actually stated, okay, that, okay, of course, what we are more concerned about is where the west side, right? Because key residences. So we can actually, it's a news, it states that the line will cut through from Bukit Timah all the way to Clementi. So, but exactly where, you know, which part, you all know that key residences is situated in Clementi, right? So where exactly will the line stop in Clementi area? So you can see the star is key residences. And so from Bukit Timah to Clementi, this whole stretch. So where will upcoming station be located? Okay, so just we go back to the master plan as just what we have seen. Do you realize I mentioned that there is this peach orange that is for residential zoning, right? But do you realize there's this long, thin strip of yellow zone? What is this yellow zone? In master plan, it actually means it's a reserve site. Okay, reserve site for government to, you know, to develop. They have some plans, you know, they have some plans on their own for this plot of land. So what is it for? You know, right in between the residential zoning. Okay, so we went to investigate further and let's take a look at what's happening just right, you know, along Clementi Road, outside the key residences. You can see these are the pictures. They are actually soil testing that is being done. Okay, in fact, they are doing actually a soil testing work there along the Clementi Road, just right outside key residences. Okay, so I mean, you can, based on the master plan, okay, we have our future land that's going to develop right next to us, our residential zoning. That is the future government land sale, right? And you all know that government land sale is actually all 99 years. Okay, there is no longer new 999 years or freehold land plot that is being given out, that's being sold by the government. So we have very big plot, of government, the new government land sale that is residential zoning right next to us. Okay, and you have your, just like the Holland Plain is part of the development, and you have your beauty world transformation that is within short reach. And of course, you have your cross island line that is potentially cut through key residences, just at the doorstep of key residences. So this is the first mover advantage that we want to capture at this point of time. So do you think that we have a growth story to tell? Think about it. Okay, next, we would like to actually invite our guest speaker, Mr. Koon Wai Leong, is the General Manager of Hoi Hup Realty, to share more with you on the design philosophy, architectural conception, and inspirations of key residences. Let us welcome Mr. Koon.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, ERA, for arranging this webinar. I'm Wai Leong, the GM of Hoi Hup Realty. I'm very happy to be invited tonight to share briefly with many of our potential key residences owner here on who Hoi Hup Realty is and what our development philosophy is. Okay, Hoi Hup, as most of you probably know, we are part of the JV company that is developing key residences. We are doing this together with a long-time development partner of ours, Sunway Development. Collectively, we are always named as Hoi Hup Sunway. Okay, so for Hoi Hup Realty itself, we are a local developer with already more than 30 years of history doing mainly residential development, big and small. Maybe recently, you may have read about us on the papers when we started venturing into high-end luxury hospitality, when we acquired Enda Singapore, which is a five-star hotel managed by Hyatt in Duo in Bugis area. So this is one of the new ventures that we are going into in the past few years. Okay, more about our development then. So what sets us apart? Some people may ask as a developer. So I'm here to briefly explain to you what our development philosophy is, to put you at ease, to put your mind at ease, and that you will be getting the one of a quality development in key residences. I'm proud to say that we are guided by a few very simple, but I think very important and very basic philosophy in most of our projects, be it big or small. First of all, we would like to be always known to be have innovative but functional design. I think if you are a expert or you know the industry in Singapore well, you probably known in the market for having very functional and down-to-earth unit design. We are actually very proud of that fact that most of our development that we design and we produce have always been focused on the foremost focus on the needs of our owners, be it functional needs or otherwise. We believe that we always want to do develop units that ourselves would want to live in. That's why many families through the years have really enjoyed spending many enjoyable moments in our units. It's a result that is seen in many of our best-selling private projects and also EC projects. But of course, this does not preclude having innovative and trend-setting design, having down-to-earth and functional units. We believe you would have seen this in our show flat in key residences. For example, we have like units with kitchen facing the front with accessible to the balcony, forming a tripartite relation with the dining and the living. It is something very unique and seldom seen in a lot of private residential. And we have really perfected this design as one of our signature design in the C5 units. So that is one, the first point that I want to make, that we always want to have very functional yet innovative design in our development. Secondly, we believe in enhancing the value for our stakeholders. The stakeholders may be our buyers, our potential buyers, like many of you. It also may be for the community. For example, in key residences, as you can see, we have undertaken this construction of a long road through the forest to connect the development with the thoroughfare at Clementi Road. This doesn't just benefit the residents in key residences, it also benefits the community at large. As Joel mentioned just now, the estate previously are only accessible by a single road through Sunset Way. It's only a one way in, one way out. But with this development of this new road, we really improve everybody's life. Is really a win-win situation. Of course, it also improves the value of the project that our potential buyers will be investing in key residents. This is just one example how we really enhance value in most of our project. One may say that this is also reflected in traditionally what our pricing strategy. Hoi Hup are also known to price our development very reasonably, so that there will always be upside to be shared with our buyers in the future. Lastly, we all believe in having a quality product. We believe in workmanship and we believe in attention to detail. And if you can see our show flat, it is a reflection of our quality that we want to achieve in our design and in our product. There are many value, materials and provisions that we provide in the product that you seldom see in many development. It ranges from cabinetry, it ranges from very high quality fixtures and fittings in the bathroom and the kitchen. And it also reflect in the materials that we chose, the high-end materials that we provide in the kitchen, in the bathroom, the cabinetry and the accessories that you find. So this is a very important philosophy for us. These three together make us be able to deliver many quality projects that allows us to grow into one of the perennially named top 10 developers in Singapore right now. Next. Like I mentioned, our attention to quality has garnered us many awards. One of the more important ones will be this, the BCA awards, annual awards have crowned us the Quality Champion Platinum in 2018 and 2019, 2 years running. We won the Gold Plus Champion in 2017. So we have really improved throughout the years into one of the premium developer in Singapore. If you venture into BCA website and you happen to search for developer ranking in terms of quality, BCA have this scheme to to evaluate the quality of every development in Singapore through the scheme called CONQUAS, Construction Quality Assurance Assessment System, and the QM, the Quality Mark Score for every developer and developer. If you look at the top 10 developer, you will notice that Hoi Hup Realty is actually ranked number 3 this year. We are above many of the more well-known developer in Singapore. This is, I think, with this attention to details, with this attention to quality and value and design, we have managed to launch many successful projects. Some has even become quite well-known stories in the industry. For example, how 100 Palms got sold out in 7 hours, which was still talked about by many people in the agencies even now. That was many years ago. One more recent example is one of our recent project in Sophia Hill. This is a very challenging project in town. Quite a big site, the biggest site in town. Actually, the biggest site in District 9 in the government land sales scheme, which we won many years ago, and we just TOP about 2 years ago. This development has been recognized by many local and international organizations and won many award through after its TOP. Namely, I can point out is Architectural Heritage Award by URA because it contains 3 different heritage buildings on site, 3 very different heritage buildings, and it also won the VVIP International Award, not the VVIP Singapore, but the VVIP International, almost like the Oscar of real estate. It was awarded the VVIP Gold Award for mid-rise development worldwide. So this is another multi-award winning development by Hoi Hup Sunway. Okay, now back to key residences. When we first saw the site, like what the speakers, the panelists before me said, we are really struck by the uniqueness of the site. There are so many wonderful attributes that we really like. It's really unique. First and foremost, it's got a 999 years tenure, which is very rare in Singapore. And everyone aspire to own one of these legacy building developments with 999 or freehold leases. It is huge. It's when we bought the land, it was 37,000 square meter plots, very big. Of course, now the key residence has been reduced slightly because we have used up some of the land in order to connect Sunset Way to Clementi Road via the new road, Brookvale Drive. So it was a huge site with uniquely very long frontage. That's why we could design a linear form to benefit all the units in the development. Another thing that you'll notice is that it's green. It's got lots of greenery surrounding it. It's in the middle of a natural oasis in very urban Singapore. It's very exclusive. Like Joel mentioned, most of the houses you see in front of you are most like 10 million in price tag. Very exclusive estate. And it's got lots of good, nice view because of the fact that it's fronting landed property and it's got no blockage to the north as well. You have views to the south and to the north. Lots of good view ventilation, lots of natural air. And also there are potential to, like I mentioned, improve the community by adding a new road to the main thoroughfare using a new road through the north of our site. That is why we set about thinking of a design concept that can capitalize these natural attributes fortunately, we came up with a very interesting name called Key. And actually, Key is not just one Japanese word. It happens to be 4 different Japanese words that encapsulate the design intent of this project. The first word in Japanese is called Ki, in Chinese is Ti, is very important to us. It means it reflects the good energy of the world around us. And we really want to capitalize on this attribute of this site, the very natural setting that goes very well with a development that capitalize on the well-being of the residents. This is way before COVID, 3 years ago, when we saw the site. And even then, we recognized the importance of having a big site to maximize the well-being of the residents. So we capitalize on the huge site to create many open spaces and place these 660 homes among trees, among greeneries, among rolling landscape, and to maximize the closeness and proximity to nature, to view and ventilation by designing straight blocks, linear block form, and in the macro design, and in very detailed design as well. For example, if you pay attention in the show unit, you have seen that we have a feature called the Juliet windows in most of the common bedrooms, where you can open up the windows and invite the natural air into your room to increase ventilation, to increase your well-being generally. So that is the first word, key. Now we come to the second word. In Chinese, it's mu. In Japanese, it's called ki as well. It doesn't mean wood, as what we know in Chinese. It means forest, which is a very apt name for the site because it's surrounded by forest. The natural energy of the forest really swirl around key residences. That is why we harness this potential by designing landscaping and facilities, and to harness the potential of this 340 the square feet of land by building many water features, pools, lawns, pavilions, clubhouses, facilities, undulating landscape. We even preserve 4 matured trees from the previous development to place our facilities among these 4 or 5 matured trees, so that we continue the legacy from the past. That is how we harness the energy of the forest around us. I come to the third concept, which is in Chinese is ji, season, and in Japanese, ki again. Also a very apt word to use because of the fact that we are 999-year leasehold project, which means that it's really trying to design a development that can stand the test of time, so that owners will enjoy the legacy, will enjoy this development through the different seasons of their life. They can grow up here, they can mature here, they can grow old with their kids and their partners throughout their life, and enjoy all the facilities that we design in this development. So a very apt name for development with such a long lease. The fourth word and concept is something called qi, another qi in Chinese, also qi in Japanese. It really refers to a container, a well-designed container, which is actually what you are buying, what you are investing in, a home that we call our attention to quality, our attention to design, will really take good care of the owners. So the good attention to details, wonderful provisions that I mentioned with the Bosch appliances, the Dietrich appliances, with Hans Grohe and Laufen wares, with all the nice materials, flooring materials, with our attention to details in all the cabinetry, our good storeroom, I believe, okay, just a little distraction. I believe a good life always starts with an uncluttered home. That is why in this development, we really intended to put in a storeroom in every unit so that everyone get a place to store their necessary clutter. So this is an important feature, a container to contain all the things that you love. A vessel, a container for your life in the future. So that is what that is very unique about this development. By using these 4 key concepts, we provide you interesting layout, interesting forms in the development, concepts in the landscaping, concept in the unit design, concepts in the provisions of the material and the provisions of the appliances. So nothing has been spared in the efforts to provide a home that really celebrate every facet of life. So I present the next slide to you. Key residences, all the different wonderful aspects of life. Really a unique development that's nestled in nature and embraced by life. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Koon, for your valuable, really wonderful insights. Thank you so much. And I think finally, what is even more important, I think I want to hand over the next segment to Marcus, our project director. Marcus.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Wai Leong, for the interesting. Can you see the beauty of key? There's so much. Why for this past couple of weeks we have been receiving so much interest from you guys. I know you have seen the show flat. Many of you, those who have not seen, please join us. We really urge you. The show flat encompass the whole concept behind. So we have seen the right timing by DD Alex and the growth potential by DD Jorel. And also Wai Leong sharing us the beauty and the concept behind key. But what is important now is also, of course, you must have the right entry price, right? I think definitely this is something in your concern. But let's just explore a little bit more, because as we go into an investment or even for your own stay, we also want to ensure that we are not stuck with something that, are we overpaying? Are we underpaying? So let's just explore what is happening in the market as per se. All right. So firstly, we want to touch on this. I think just a very important highlight. Yes, you're not seeing it wrongly. Yes, lease do decay is a real issue in Singapore. So this 37 families, right, by December 31st, there will be no compensation. Maybe I repeat again, there will be no compensation to them because the lease has reached and it will be returned back to state. So this is what is going to be affected if we are looking at a short lease. Even a 99 years, it does reach to an issue closer to the end of lease. Okay, so these are all evident that lease decay is a real issue. And maybe when we do a comparable, so this is also important. Some of you are also looking to upgrading, and which is also a good portfolio movement. Or if you have an older property, you may also, or even a 99 years property or staying over 20, 30 years, you may want to just see what is happening in the market. So this is just a comparable to say that if we are going towards the HDB versus the private price disparity. So over a plot, over a time, you can see from the 2013 all the way to where we are now of Q2 2020, right? There is a difference in between with the HDB prices percentage. So prices has actually dipped there about minus 11.2, whereas private property, most of it, you will probably know over time, it will also be able to raise. But in this case, if you look at the same timeline, 2013, we actually have a profit of 11.6. So again, this is just from our research team. So this is across the board, generally for 2013 to 2020. What about this? I think this is that the important things that we are here to really share with you. This is what we know, and this is direct from our Prime Minister office itself, or rather our Prime Minister itself also, right? There will not be any more than 99 years, which means all the state land, the GLS land, the government land sales will only be 99 years. I think some of you have heard me before, or maybe less in time to come, because if the affordability for the 99 years gets higher, there may be a stage where we will reach lesser than 99 years, so that the affordability becomes evident, right? So that is in time to come. But for now, they have already declared that they will only sell 99 years lease or less. So this is what is happening in the market, or rather where the government, the state, where's their stand is, right? As we also do a comparable, this is exactly where we are coming from. The freehold and the 999 years. Incidentally, if you want to know, we still have 850 years for key residences. So I think it's good enough for many generations to come. But just generalizing it, there's only 19.7% in the whole market of owning a freehold or 999 years. This is how rare it is. On top of that, Joel just shared, we are in the bungalow landed enclave. How many times can you even see a project that is situated exactly as such spot? In fact, I don't even recall any, right? Having such a big plot of land with such firm and confirm and with master plan assurance sort of a plot. So this is a comparable. Now let's just look across, because we want to be also very knowledgeable and getting insights. Are we really getting a good deal, out of it? And also now let's just do freehold versus 99 years. As we move along, we will be able to see a clear comparison over the market trend. So let's just take one comparable to just give you an analysis on this. So now we are at this, not too far away, right? If you are aware of this area, many of you are probably staying in this district and region. So we have this High Oaks condo, which is actually in 99 years. So it's at the Jurong Kechil, the Totak area, that they are on the 99 years. And Signature Park, many of you have heard before also as well. So it's on the freehold land title deed. So if we do a comparable based on year 2000, so the PSF averaging for High Oaks is at 600. So of course, over time, because of inflation, we'll definitely see an increase. But now we want to see, is that increase good enough, right? Good enough. So 99 years, 2020, High Oaks is on an average of 1,000 PSF. How about Signature Park? Year 2000, bought at 700 PSF. Naturally, their prices will be slightly higher. It is very normal at the purchase point. But at 2020, the average is at 1,400 PSF. So the average is even more than High Oak by about 400 PSF. That is so much of a difference that you are looking at. Whereas the purchase price is so minimal in terms of the gap distance, right? And we can also give you clearer evidence as we move along to the other comparable. So if you are along the Upper Bukit Timah Road, we are all staying around here, so you probably will know about this. If you are in the East area, so welcome. Let me just share a little bit more. In this, just side by side here, it's amazing, right? Side by side, the name sounds so similar, but the land title is so much different. So we are along the Upper Bukit Timah Road. So opposite, behind is actually the Bukit Timah Hill. So South Haven 1, okay, 99 years versus the South Haven 2, 999 years. They are just side by side, hence the name is so close. But the key difference again is this. Now they are on a 99 years land for South Haven 1, bought at year 2000 at 600 PSF on average. Currently today market 2020, they are only averaging at 900 PSF. Just beside South Haven 2 on the list of 999 years, similar with where Key Residences is, bought at on the year 2000, bought at 700 PSF. So that naturally is higher as compared, like what I mentioned. But at 2020, the sales of the average is at 1,200. So what does this, again, another clear evidence, what does this prove to you, right? This difference of a 300 PSF over time, the 99, 999 years, 999, 999 and freehold does have a value across a horizon. So you are buying in a safety net. In fact, your wealth preservation is a lot stronger if we understand, as we go even the next 10 years, or next 20 years, or next 30 years, what will happen to the South Haven 1? So these are things that you need to also be aware of. As we do this comparable, it's a very clear comparable in District 21, all right? For the 99 years, past 10 years, January 2010 to October 2020, which is very, very recent. This is from our own research department, and we also have our source from our IERA. The growth is there definitely because you are looking at over a period of time. So naturally 10 years you will have a growth, but the 99 years growth is only at 54.58%. Look at that. And how about the triple 9 years and freehold? Look at the difference. The growth is 71.66. My only guess or guesstimate or my best bet to this is that another 10 years, another 20 years, somehow you will be seeing the growth of the 99 years depleting because of the age. But however, the triple 9 years and freehold, you will probably see it constantly moving ahead as the market moves across, right? So these are all also inflation. But we are now, this is just what is happening. So it's good. Before we know, are we at the right price? So this is a good indicative. But then, don't you think that we should also be comparing with new to new, since key residences is going to be a newly launched in 2020? So now let's look at the comparable, what's in the market. Just recently, about 2 weeks back, okay, we have this project called The Link at Beauty World. Right? They are a freehold title. They have sold at 2001 to 2002 PSF. Look at that difference. These are all the track record and is already being sold. So which means to say buyers have already bought in and paid this price already. So that is evident. So we want to be able to compare, are we being priced right, or are we bringing out of price, or are we overpricing? So let's just explore further. So this is just one comparable. Let's just look at another comparable where is again another freehold. So we use freehold to freehold. That will be a good gauge when we are doing our price comparable, so that you know that you are getting into a good deal. Will be our averaging of Foret at Bukit Timah. They are sold at an average of 1,950. Yes, you may say that they are in the same landed enclave, but I think the premium landed enclave of where Sunset Way is also a different comparable, and the units are not facing block to block, so you'll never see a neighbor in this sense. The way Hoi Hup and Sunway have actually constructed it, it is really a beauty. You hardly, in fact, I don't even see a project something like that. So if we just look across to the per square feet, you're paying at 1,009 on the average. So this is what you're paying. So if we do in this comparable, then you may say, let's say you are just using maybe, but I can buy a 99 years, maybe it's at a better price, at a lower entry price and all. I've already spoke about the decaying of 99, but yeah, I hear you, new project is fine, buy a 99 years. So let's just do a comparable with a most recent 99 years. Even the most recent 99 years where we are at the same estate, right? Clementi Road, we are at Sunset Way. Clementi Road is the main road. So at Clementi, we have this Park Clementis, in case you are not aware. Also, is at Clementi itself. The average is at 1,750 PSF. So buyers have already bought, okay, in this project. So again, we know then now that these are already in the market where buyers are able to accept. And now we have a new product, which is key residences. Where do we stand if you are looking at purchasing a unit on our 5th of December booking day? All right, let's just explore further. I'm giving you figures, so it's better to analyze when you do your math. And I know many of you are interested because we've seen a lot of interest in our show flat. We know that a lot of you all are already registering, submitting documents and all. So but I just want to show you the figure, so it must make sense to you as well, right? So now we are at District 21. Let's just do a comparable of the 99 years. Daintree, View at Kismis, Mayfair Garden, Mayfair Modern. They are already averaging, yes, exactly at 1,009 to 1,007. So this is the new norm, right? For the new projects, for the 99 years that is already in the same district as key residences. So then my question back is, where should we be pricing? So now we do a breakdown for you guys to take a look, to compare. Do away with the 1 bedroom, because I think key residences, they did it very right. They know that we are catering for people for stay, and also for bigger and longer holding power, and also for a investment capital gains out of it. So we will be looking at the 2-bedroom comparable, because key residences will only have 2, 3, 4, and a 5-bedroom types, right? So these are the comparable in terms of the price range, right? You can get from any of our ERA agents. We will be able to share with you more on these details, but this is just a comparable to show you. This is very interesting. So now we are key residences. I want to highlight this a lot because 660 unit is really like a limited edition collection. I can assure you, you can't find a project that has low density. You have some blocks, about 6 blocks that have 4 units per level, 660 units that is spread across a 385-meter length of the plot of land. So now, in case you do not know, I will just share with you a little bit more. In case you do not know, right? 2-bedroom units, I only have 20 units for you, right? 20 units for you to purchase, right? Adding in the 2-bedroom and the 2+ study. There 2-bedroom unit with 1 bath, 20 units, 160 units for the 2+ study. So all in all, 180 units. So 180 units, that's all we have. If you are looking into a investment, or this is probably good for investment, or a start off. Some of you may be saying that this is a first property start off. This is definitely a good start off. Your affordability is there, so you can go for this before you do your upgrading, right? Again, there's a lot of growth potential here, like what Joel mentioned, so you are safe on that basis. The next is that when we look at the 3-bedroom unit, we can then split down again, very limited. The 3-bedroom compact, you are looking at probably about 96 units only, right? So 96 units for you to choose only. The next one is 3-bedroom plus yard. We have 180 units, and the 3-bedroom plus yard plus utility, we have 142 units. So if we do the breakdown, we have very limited set of units because we are only 12 story high. So every unit is good. It's only which facing you prefer, right? Whether is it the north facing or the south facing, right? As we do a breakdown again, this is the hot market. We realize that there are a lot of buyers that is buying, but really for the family and all. This is really literally truly a home. You can't find anywhere else with such fresh air and such layout, right? Hoi Hup did it perfectly. It's well done on that basis. 4-bedroom, there's only 58 units. So I know many of you are keen with the 4-bedroom units, but we will know that there will also be challenge. So it's a high demand sort of layout. So please do register with us as much as we can. Our role over in ERA, we want you to definitely be able to achieve to get your unit that you are looking at. So work with us closely. We will be able to advise you nicely on this. So 58 units only for 4-bedroom, right? There are different types. Do check with us. We'll be able to share with you more. And lastly, this is a unit type that frequently, almost every day in the show flat, there will be someone asking about the details of this and all, which is our 5-bedroom units. We only have 4 units. Again, I repeat, we only have 4 units available. So if you are keen, please quickly sound out to us so that we can make the necessary arrangement for your registration. All right. Again, 5-bedroom units, we only have 4. So all in all, if you look at it, we have 660 units only till we sell out. All right. And then again, I don't think you can find another project like that anymore in upcoming in Singapore in the next couple of years. So let's just move along on that basis. So you may be thinking that, oh, but this is Sunset Way. Then how about if I'm an investor, what should I be looking at? We just to remind you, because of the current road that we are going through, which is Sunset Way, we may overlook what is the growth impact, like what Joel mentioned, of the new Brookvale Drive. The impact is very great, and there'll be a cross junction deliberately built in for our Brookvale Drive road. So you know how much impact will that be? That will immediately enable rentability, because we are just beside 2 universities, SUSS, SIM, and we are at the Ngee Ann Poly region. So there are students, international schools nearby. There are people who wish to stay near to their school. It's just that at the moment they do not have many choices, because you know they are all the bungalow landed enclave. You won't be able to rent that just for the students to stay. So if there is opportunity, you can see just 2020 itself, Clementi Park, which is the same region where Key Residences is, there is already 84 rental contract done. We can see how much demand there is. So Key Residences will add into this supporting element in case if you are an investor thinking of it. Otherwise, it's definitely a perfect place to stay. You may want to buy here as your second home, pay the ABSD, it doesn't matter. Our price later on, I'll review a little bit of hint. However, you just pay and you can rent out your other property, but you're holding a 999 years project. This is for generations to come. Right, so we can move on. So what if, this is exactly where we are coming to now. But what if I were to mention that we are only going to start from a 16XX PSM? Wow, is it true? Yes. This is exactly what is happening. It's going to be very similar to some of the 99 years project that you have also come across. But again, like Hoi Hup Wai Leong himself, he mentioned that the Hoi Hup and Sunway, their track record is really the product, the details in the product, the functional needs, but also the affordability. They always care for buyers. It has always been their motto. I worked with them for many years. The buyers really appreciate the care that Hoi Hup give to them, even the after sales, which means to say even after TOP. So this is really respectable. So I'm not surprised why they are the top three. In fact, they could be even clinching the first position very soon, because as they build more, buyers are proud of it. Buyers know how appreciative the developer actually is giving in the quality. This is something that in time to come people will know, right? These are things that cannot be hidden. It's always there, right? So what if now we are going to price like that? So this is the hint that I'm going to give you. Find out from us more in details. We do have the breakdowns of all the different types of units with some guide price. So definitely our ERA teammates will be able to give you much more in details. So let's just share with you a little bit more. Again, we are pulling out stats. So it's not just our sales that we are trying to share with you. No, we rather use statistics to show you. So in the next slide, you will see that even in time to come, this is where we are coming from. Is always that time appreciation. Do not rush into something that hoping that you will want to just turn over in a very short period of time, right? Because why you can't write it out, what if that timing you catch wrong? But we know over time you have something that it's like a collector item, right? Collector item have to write over time, and the value always remain. This is exactly what it is. You don't have a project where you have Juliet windows in the common rooms and all, where you allow natural wind and light to come in the unit. Why? Because Key Residences environment allows that. If you do it in other projects, you probably can't, because you're attracting different type of environment, noise and all. So this is the thing that you need to also take note of. And we have this first mover advantage. It's always good. When we can read stats, we can read master plan and all, like what Joel and also Alex was talking about the timing and all. This is good because we know what we are seeing. So we are here to share with you what we know. And this is your judgment call on the day of our booking to decide. But in between, this is exactly what we are sharing with you. Like to show you that we do have this first mover advantage. There are already articles that the empty plot of land will be future residential site. So for sure, 99 years, because they are state land, and they will be helping you to push over time for the capital appreciation. This is very, very important, right? Over time, I can assure you this is a steal. Those who bought will say good. Those who missed will say I should have gotten in on the 5th of December. Why? 99, 999 years, 999 years. This whole tenure, you have 850 years. So like I say, it's definitely more than enough for your generations, and you're leaving a legacy to all your future generations, right? Your first mover advantage, because like what Joel mentioned, it is there. And it's a home that celebrates life, because you just hear from Hoi Hup itself. Wai Leong is sharing with you how much passion you see. Hoi Hup have actually seen the plot of land created with the architects, with the designers and all, into enhancing this, beautifying this area that still remains that culture. I love about the conservation trees that is there to provide you, right? So now, in a short summary, it is better to hold a 999 years. If you do have a 99 years current property that has been with you for 15, 20 years, maybe it's time for you to, and you have rented it out for a good number of years, maybe it's time for you to cash it out and go into something newer, because a new project will always have new technology, new system into it, right? New materials into it. So you are already going into another product. If again the depreciation of 99 years is very evident now as we go longer in terms of the years, right? We are seeing closer to projects or even lands that have reached their lease, right? So you will go back to state. So that is the simple analogy to it. Okay, you have less pressure definitely because you don't have to worry. You can always think of also planning out for your future generations, and also you can also, if those who know this lingo about equity loan and all, definitely the banks will recognize 999 years as a higher priority if should you need any urgent cash flow and all, right? So these are things that is there. Of course, definitely your on-block potential, this is a very low density development, so definitely there is there, but we are definitely, I mean, we don't want to commit on this part, but this is how it works, right? Developers always be keen to looking at longer lease, especially if state is not going to sell any more freehold. Assurance and also the value. So it's the time, is that time as we move along 10, 20 years, 30 years, the 99 years, if you continue to hold, that will have a difference in impact. We just have to compare with two projects that TOP at the same time, and in 20 years time, 30 years time, you can do a same comparable like what we just did, and you will see that the freehold will definitely be holding a lot better and probably increasing a lot more than the 99 years as it depreciate by 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, right? So that is one very, very important or sharing that this short session that I like to put it across, right? So now let's just go direct to the figures, right? I think you are all excited about this. Yeah, let me just share with you, this is what's going to happen, right? We are only going to launch from our starting price 2-bedroom from 1.23. This is a very, very affordable entry quantum to go for. 3-bedroom, we have a 1.28, right? Again, just focus on the PSF. We don't even need to focus on the quantum itself first. Just focus on PSF. You will know that this Hoi Hup is going to be presenting on the 5th of December. I keep repeating 5th of December because I believe they will after the sales, they will probably think of say, hey, should we readjust the price to be higher and not? Because I think this is literally a steal, right? Doing so many projects across Singapore, we know that these are the pricing that this time round Hoi Hup is really giving back to you as a buyer and you as an investor and you as a homeowner. That makes the difference. So we are still open our show flat till the 2nd of December, which is Wednesday. But our cutoff will be thereabouts at 7 p.m. So if you are keen to register, you probably have seen the show flat already, but you're joining us here just to hear from us where we are coming from. Our booking day is firm, so we need you to register first so that from there we can actually do a consolidation of the interest. And we will then advise you how you're going to meet us on Saturday, right, of 5th of December. So do contact our ERA agents. With this, I will hand over to my buddy and DD Alex.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, to also Mr. Koon Wai Leong, General Manager for Hoi Hup. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of the session. I think I hope that we have added a lot of value in terms of our investment insights, and also the developer themselves sharing the beauty of key residences. Okay, so for those who have not checked out the sales gallery, or you have no time, you can actually scan this QR code. You can check it out. And also, if you need to make an appointment with any of our ERA salespeople, I believe we will be able to share more with you for the next few days to come. So the check collection will cut off on the 2nd of December, and we'll go straight to the balloting on the 5th of December itself. Okay, I think I just want to end with this slide, to make it more interesting tonight. I think tonight, it's not just about timing the market, right? It's more about time in the market. So time in the market beats timing the market. I think timing the market is very difficult, but I think for real estate investment, it's all about your affordability. If you can afford it, you just have to put your funds there, and over time, history has always proven itself. We will always be able to reap rewards from property investments, over a mid period of time. So I think, with that, I really, really appreciate all your time. I think that's all I have for tonight. Guo Feng, I think I'll pass it back to you. Thank you so much.